Just because somebody doesn't come to save your life, maybe you have to think that they actually saved your life by doing nothing. Everybody likes to have a good horse wreck story, and if you've been in the business long enough or ridden horses long enough, you're going to have your fair share of them. And mine kind of pertains to this mare that I bought that was kind of a notorious bucker, and she was a pretty good sized mare, and we bought her to be a ranch horse. And I mean, big stout mare, but her deal was she would be kind of dirty when she bucked. So she would buck and duck her head and kind of suck back and turn to the left. And if you've ever been in a situation where you have to ride one that bucks, you can do two things. One, kick them forward, because as you know, forward fixes everything, right? Or two, do not pull on the saddle horn, because if you pull on the saddle horn, you're gonna lawn dart yourself into the arena, okay? So knowing this with this mare, I'd ridden her for quite a while, and I made sure that I always kicked her forward whenever she bucked. And we kind of come to a mutual understanding that she just did what I asked, and I wouldn't have to kick her forward. And I got along with her well. So I never had anybody else ride her. But I had a client that decided he wanted her more than what I wanted her. And when he actually came for the test ride, he got bucked off of her. And, you know, God bless his heart, he still bought her. So she's still in training with me, and he wanted to go on, and we were going to ranch horse and rope on her. So the one big hole other than the bucking in her program was that she would not like to drag things. So anytime the rope got across her hip or got down around the leg or whatever, she tried to leave town. Not so much buck anymore, but leave town. So me and my infinite wisdom, we had two vets that were out there. They're riding their horse. The owner was there riding another horse, and I'm riding his mare because I wanted to show off and say, hey, this is how good stuff's going in my program. And we had one of the steers in the arena, and I went ahead and zinged it on him, which is, you know, amazing in itself because I'm a terrible roper. So I get this thing roped, and, you know, I got it around the neck, and dally off, and we start to walk off. And that rope touches this mare's hip, and she turned into about a +1, +1.5 NRHA spinner. And I promise you, I could not let go of my dally quick enough. So here I am on this mare that likes to buck, tied onto this steer, tied on with my dally, and she spins about 3 times. Now, this is where stuff starts to get into a little bit of a predicament, because now I've got 2 coils around my waist, my hands are wrapped to the horn, and I can't let go of my dally. I've got a horse that likes to buck underneath me. I've got a steer behind me that, thank goodness it was one of the quiet ones, standing there. So if both of them decided that they were going to part ways, I would have been like the kid in the movie Dewey Cox, right? Where he's like, Dewey, I'm cut real bad, because I would have been chopped in half. And it would not have been comfortable, I'm sure. So this is when the benefit of having people that either A, don't care, B, are smart enough to know, or C, understand the kind of train wreck you're in and chose to help save my life. Because nobody even panicked, right? Other than me. And I'm tied onto the horn, and I'm sitting there, and these guys are all sitting in front of me, and they're just sitting there on their horses, just kind of watching what's going down. Nobody gets excited, nobody runs to save Steve's life, nothing. They all just sit there and look, which in hindsight is the best thing that could ever be done, because if they all would have come running at me, it would have got real, and I would have been cut real bad. So I'm tied off there, I can't reach my knife, and I can't undally the horn, and I got 2 wraps, and I'm stuck. So finally, either the horse took a step back, or the steer moved, or whatever, that I could start fishing the tail. So I start fishing the tail of my rope out, And finally, it seemed like, 2 hours later, it was probably 2 minutes, 20 seconds, I don't know, it was a long time. I finally get uncoiled enough that I kind of fished this rope out there, and everything was good, and I get loose. But again, right, in those train wreck scenarios, you never know how fast the tides can change and put you into that predicament. So just because somebody doesn't come to save your life, maybe you have to think that they actually saved your life by doing nothing. And you never want to be in that position where you're cut real bad. Hope you enjoyed today's episode of Horse Stories on Global Horse Network. We'd like to thank this month's sponsor, Snafflebit Clothing Company, for all your horse and apparel needs. Visit them on the web at snafflebitclothingcompany.com. If you like what we're doing or you don't, make sure that you put it in the comments below, because there's nothing I like better than to aggravate somebody like a sandburr under your saddle pad. Be sure to share our stuff on all the social media platforms, because that's what all the cool kids are doing. Be sure to subscribe if you like what we're doing. If you want to be notified whenever we're posting new content and some kick-ass stuff, click on the notification bell. If you like what we're doing, click the like button. If you hate what we're doing, click that bad boy twice, because there's nothing that I enjoy more than a good hater. And as always, ride hard, be safe, and have fun.